Republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you everyone for coming tonight. Okay, roll call, Diane.
Mr. Douglas? Mr. Barber?
Here.
Mr. Irwin?
Here.
Mr. Langley?
Here.
Mr. McDonald?
Here. Diane is also here, the town clerk, Matt, our attorney, Bob, our code officer, Dave, our document officer, Courtney, water sewer, Mike, highway, and Pam, our secretary, and John, the Gazette, and residents. I already said that. I said Dave right after the motion. Okay, so we have that. We need a motion and a second to approve the minutes of the public hearing in the town board regular meeting of November 26, 2018.
I'll make it.
The motion, Jim. Second. Douglas, no second. Any discussion? We're doing the public hearing right now. We had to do the town board and two separate. All in favor? Aye. Okay, now I need a motion and a second to approve the minutes of the town board regular meeting, November 26, 2018.
I'll make the motion.
Henley?
I'll second.
Okay, Ricky? Barber? Any discussion? All in favor? Aye. Okay, that passes. Need a motion and a second to accept all reports, departments, water, sewer, Valcor, highway, town clerk, dog control officer, youth department, code zoning supervisor, or code zoning supervisor report, court report, website, JCO, and banking report. Need a motion and a second.
Go ahead.
Joe made the motion,
Second.
Jim. Douglas, second.
Can I just ask a question about one of these reports?
Absolutely.
Just for my information. On the highway report, you've got pulled all children and play signs in the town per insurance company request.
Yep.
Yep. What's that about?
When the state insurance came around, I believe it was in the spring, he had us take them out because in their eyes,
It's a
it
dead
encourages kids to play in the road. So somebody gets hit, whatever, it opens it down to a lawsuit. So that's why we took them on.
You didn't think it was a better message for drivers to slow down?
Well, we got speed limits.
And when he came over and talked to me and.
That's-
You did the right thing. I don't know, that just seems a backwards way.
Well, we thought it was a little,
All right.
Yeah, when he came over and talked to us, he said basically you're identifying the problem of an area. This doesn't identify the problem by you guys signaling out. I'm like, well, you went over to Mike and then he came over to us. So at the same time. Yeah.
this was brought up in the highway school in Itko. So I take it, somebody got sued somewhere. That's, I'm sure that's
Sure.
what it comes down to.
Yeah, I want to know what that was about. Thanks.
Any other discussion? No? All in favor? Aye.
Sorry,
Oh,
someone had said youth department. Did I skip over it? I don't see it.
That's it.
I already seen it.
Yeah, I did, Jim.
Okay. no, I
It's,
skipped
it's
over
in there.
it.
Yeah, it's in there. I've seen it earlier.
All right, then add mine.
Yeah.
It's right after Dave's
Next
dog.
one after Dave.
Yeah, Dave.
Comes through as my name.
I see.
Okay. So we're good?
Thank you.
All four ayes. Oh, 5 ayes.
I did
You said
five.
4.
I've got 4 too.
Full ship here.
Community input. Anyone sign up?
John.
Brian,
John Ryan.
if you can read it.
John, right.
Last time I asked a question, if, has any meetings been held or progress made on the Washington Street issue at all?
It's still in discussion, John. We're going to have an executive session. I'm going to ask for it tonight to discuss. Mike had a couple conversations, but because it's in litigation, we don't want to say too much in the public. I would say that way.
If it does go to litigation, and Mr. Fabro said he could represent the town, would that be on, by the hour?
Yep.
And what is your hourly rate?
For the town, it's 175.
175. So if that goes on for quite a period, it would be at 175 an hour. Okay, thank you.
Anything else? Okay, being that said, I talked to Mike before the meeting, and we would like to add a line, let's go 17A for executive session on possibility of litigation about the Washington Street development. Just an update, but, so I need a motion and a second to add 17A.
Can I add to my remarks about Washington Street? I want to bring up something.
Okay, let's get this done first.
Okay.
So we got a motion, Jim Langley
I'll second
and Ricky Barber. All in favor?
it.
Aye. Okay, John.
I just want to make a few points. I haven't written a story on it yet, but I have been doing some background work. I moved to Peru in 1974. It was a growing community. Certainly into Quaker Springs, a very welcoming development, a wonderful development. And we've had several developments since then, Quaker Highlands, Ormsby Circle. And I think they've all played an important role in the growth of Peru and the tax base and so on. Add a lot of value to the town and some good citizens. Mr. Sawyer developed Washington Street. Up to this point, it's the best, hottest selling street in the town there's about 21 homes there. I would say the average value is $225 to $250. They're all part of the water and sewer system. I worked out the taxes they pay. I figure those 21 existing homes pay approximately $154,000 a year in taxes, including about $16,800 in metered rates. That's based on a family of 4. If he adds 13 more homes, that's another, at $250 at least, that's $3.2 million to the tax base, or another $101,000 in taxes, plus another over about $10,500 a year in meter income. Plus and then you got the people moving into those homes with goods and services they would purchase. In the process of developing the article I worked on, I also checked with the towns of Beekmantown and Plattsburgh. Neither one of them would require a paved shoulder on the highway. Plattsburgh would require either a 10 or 11-foot highway with no paved shoulders, a 2-foot gravel one just like there's there now. And Beekmantown would require a 10-foot highway with a 3-foot gravel shoulder. So it's and none of the only other street in town with a paved shoulder is Holden Avenue, I'm led to believe. So I think I just appreciate it if the board would keep all these things in mind. I'm talking as a citizen now, I guess. And considering, and we also have no other developers that I am aware of willing to invest a lot of money in the town of Peru. And that's a very important thing to keep in mind. Mr. Sawyer may have made some mistakes, but I think the overall future and the fact we are in fact competing with Beekmantown and Plattsburgh for residents to help pay these increased costs of water and sewer and grow our community and bring good people in. I think we have to keep that in mind, the big picture rather than the small picture. Thank you.
And Dean and Mike met today. And Dean came on my work after John, and he offered some things back and forth, so we're going to talk about some of that stuff. So we're trying to figure it out and make it work, but we just got to get everyone to agree. So, anyways, going to go to discussion number 7, tree lighting ceremony. I got some people to thank and some things to bring up. I want to thank, first of all, Jim for taking my spot there that night and announcing all the stuff for the tree lighting. Thank you, Jim.
You're welcome.
Judy Akey for organizing it and her family for helping out, doing a lot of the decoration and all the stuff. Water and Sewer Department for the decoration and getting the tree up and running. Courtney, you and your guys did a great job. Donna and Linda Coble for donating the tree again this year, which was another nice tree again this year. They donated the one last year. Dunkin' Donuts for donating the hot cocoa and donuts. Judy Berto and Bob for playing Mr. and Mrs. Santa Claus. Peru Fire Department for delivering Mr. and Mrs. Santa Claus, and also for the stuff they do around town for the the trucks and all that stuff going around town. It's awesome. Every Monday, Wednesday, Friday. Peru Community Church for hosting the event after the tree lighting. And then Kathy for lighting the tree. So people would like to thank everyone.
And Mel and Jim, or
And
Ron and
Ricky.
Rick
Yep.
came up there, and I got Rick to sing a little bit.
Won't be bad again, will you?
No.
It was a huge hit like always, and they thanked everyone that was involved.
Thank you.
Thank you guys. Okay, any other discussion about that? Okay. And if I forget anyone, I'm sorry because there are a lot of people that was involved with it. Number 8, dangerous dog boarding. Last meeting, Mel was gonna call and he did call and he got the results back today. Mel, I'll let you take that one over. Even though it's not what we want to hear.
Basically, it seems that everybody's, most vets offices are worried about the liability end of things. The only way they'll take a dog is if the dog is definitely going to be euthanized. I just talked to Dave. Dave, can you give us more background?
I've had three dogs I had put down in Peru. First one was extensive because it was a court battle. The next two, which was one of our major dog bites in Peru, I convinced the guy within the first day that he would do me a deposition, sign it, get it notarized by Pam. I made the appointments, let him go through the judge. If I had to go through the judge, the procedure would have been extensive. That dog was probably still been in town a year after that lady got chewed up. I had him gone in a day. The next one I had, same deal. I convinced the lady she had to do it. I didn't tell her she had to. I said it would be better for you because you're responsible for this dog. If you bite somebody, I chased him for 9 days. Finally caught him and had to have him tranquilized before I could get him. Shazy come down with a tranquilizer gun, hit him twice. First time he hit him, come at me. He hit him again with a 100-pound shot. He didn't come at me anymore. He went down. But it's the procedure that you have to go through if you can't convince the people that their dog needs to be put down. And they do the depositions. I haven't had any trouble with them. They do the depositions, get them notarized. It's all legal. And it's getting hell away from the extended court procedures that are involved for dangerous dogs. That's the best thing I can do for them. Like I said, that one that tore up that lady, that dog would have still been in town this summer before the court battle was over, before he was put down, and I had him down in a day. I don't like to do it, but he had to go.
So I guess the choice is we either go the first route we talked about, or as long as we can guarantee whatever dogs go in there,
They're gonna be euthanized.
I don't usually have any trouble. 3 dogs in 5 years.
5 years.
Ain't too shabby. I don't look forward to running into any.
And all 3 were euthanized, so.
So I think Pam can give them a call tomorrow and set up.
Set it up as a dog, dangerous dog, if it's gonna be euthanized, can go there, and that way we're on that list.
Keep agging markets.
First one I got lucky, I snuck him into home where they had to take him once I had him in a cage. They held him until I got him down. They don't like to do that anymore, they're not.
And Mel, who did you talk to there? Did you talk to the gentleman who owns it?
Yeah.
Okay. Palmer's.
So who should I speak to there?
Call the secretary, and I'll call them again tomorrow and make sure they're all set.
Janet from Megan Markets tried to get, Janet Collier. She suggested we get a hold of Eagle Vet, but they want to charge a $500 fee up front. And if you don't use them, then they keep the $500 fee without any
Non-refundable funds.
non-refundable,
And even like Dave says, there's not enough of the issue to warrant that kind of thing at this point in time that I don't see. And even Dave agrees to that, so I think we go this route. And, I mean, if all of a sudden, hey, it becomes an issue, then we might have to go there, but at least we know we have an option.
I'm usually able to convince the people that the best thing they can do for their benefit is to made to do it, but it's got to, it's got to happen.
It's only been 3 and 5 years, right, Dave? And usually the people you deal with, and I can see, I was a deal now with SPCA, because of the liability of the people working down there.
They won't touch it.
Thank you. Okay, Number 9, discussion, certification of code office money collection. We wanted certification of exactly how the money is collected in the office and where it should go to after. So me and Diane talked, what was it, Thursday? Thursday last week, and like I told her, I said, definitely call Association of Towns, and they answer every question. If they don't have the answer, they will get the answer. So Diane, I'll let you take over this.
I did, I called Association of Towns, spoke to Lori, she was lovely, sent me the email, if anybody wants to read it, gentlemen have it. And yes, the money can be collected in that office. Building permit can be issued in that office. Receipt can be given to the homeowner, developer, et cetera, et cetera. Then secretary can bring it to me on a weekly basis, just as we have been doing it, okay? And she had in the email said to possibly call the regional state comptroller's office, so I did this morning and had a nice chat with him, and I told him the process, because on Thursday afternoon, or Thursday morning, whenever, I called the town clerk at Schuyler Falls, because Donna handles a great support system for me, and she told me how they did it, because we wanted to make sure our I's were dotted and our T's crossed, because there had been questions whether we were doing it legally. And yes, we are. The only thing that Kevin, the state comptroller's office, said was that when Darlene brings me the money on Friday, to get a copy of her cash receipts to put with my daily cash receipts for that week. Simple, easy, done, cut and dry. And a closure on what needs to be done.
You'll have a copy of every receipt that goes out to the homeowner or business.
It's a printout that Darlene does. So, and so because what happens is that with that receipt, I gave her a receipt for the money I collected, the checks. I had myself covered, but I technically, if somebody really wanted to get nitpicky, I didn't have the building permit numbers. Well, I will now have the building permit numbers, if that's where the question comes in. And that's what Donna was sharing with me, that's what she does to cross-reference. I said, well, that's an easy fix. And Judy will still get the paperwork that she needs for what accounts the money goes into. So it's all good. And it was just a couple phone calls, it's all cleared up, and we now know what to do, and it's end of subject, end of.
Discussion? Thank you very much. Okay, sewer collection project update, number 10. Anything new? We wanted to have this on every meeting.
Yeah,
Make
nothing
sure we-
other than everything we discussed in the workshop last week. The only other new thing, I have made contact with all the residents pertaining to the easements. And I did get one Friday that is not comfortable getting this easement. So if we do have to stick with that line in the backyard, there could be one that's gonna be an issue.
But last we talked, it was possible going out
But
front,
right now, we're focusing on keeping the line out front.
Out front. so it might not even be an issue.
And I've let AES know, and
Any,
they're focusing on the front.
Yes.
any more on that pump station easement? You run that line down in Sandport?
Not yet.
Anything else updated from last workshop?
AES has set up a thing that can circulate through whether the board members want to get on Courtney's on it, I'm on it. It's called Smart Notes, that if something comes up, you can just go in, add notes to it, and everybody, it'll automatically disseminate out to everybody. So that's one good thing that they've set up, so in case somebody's lines are crossed or whatever, then there's
Everyone's
always
informed.
everybody's informed. So.
That's good. 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 Anything else? Okay. Number 11 and number 12, they both retain on some that came in Friday that we added to the meeting because they, AES would like us to get done trespass and have to tell the bond council retain a letter for short-term financing, and then there's one for long-term. So they're both resolutions, so I need a full motion and a second for the financing of this project.
Motion.
Motion for number 11, Jim Langley.
Second.
Jim Douglas, second. Okay. And resolution, Diane, number 1.
A resolution accepting the proposed bond council retainer letter for the short-term financing for the sewer collection upgrade system. Whereas the town of Peru has determined that the town is in need of short-term and long-term financing for the sewer collection upgrade project system. And whereas the town seeks to obtain grant and low-interest loan funds to assist in reducing the cost of the project to the sewer district. And whereas the town recognizes that work generally including the examination of applicable law, preparation and review of resolutions and documents relating to authorization of obligations and expenditure of funds, preparations of all relevant finance proceedings and rendering advice to move the project forward while the town secures said grants and low interest loans is required. And whereas Trespass and Marquee LLP has proposed to complete all of the above work for a not to exceed cost of $11,089 for EFC short-term loan financing as per New York State Environmental Facilities Corporation's requirements. Be it resolved that the town board accepts the bond council retainer letter from Trespass and Marquee LLP for the above reference work. And be it resolved that this resolution shall take effective immediately. Mr. Douglas?
Yes.
Mr. Irwin?
Yes.
Mr. Langley?
Yes.
Mr. Barber?
Yes.
Mr. McDonald?
Yes. Okay, all right, we'll bring on to the number, yes, 5 yeses. Number 12 for the long-term financing of trespassing. I need a motion and a second for that one. Ricky, any motion on that one?
I'll second.
And no second on that one. The resolution, Diane, number 12.
A resolution accepting the proposed bond council retainer letter for the long-term financing for the sewer collection upgrade system. Whereas the town of Peru has determined that the town is in need of short-term and long-term financing for the sewer collection upgrade project system. And whereas the town seeks to obtain a grant and low-interest loan funds to assist in reducing the cost of the project to the sewer district. And whereas the town recognizes that work, generally including the examination of applicable law, preparation, and review of resolutions and documents relating to authorization of obligations and the expenditure of funds, preparations of all relevant financing proceedings, and rendering advice to move the project forward while the town secures said grants and low interest loans is required. And whereas Trapaz and Marquee LLP has proposed to complete all of the above work for a not to exceed cost of $15,162 for the USDA long-term general obligation serial bond to the USDA after the project's completion as per United States Department of Agriculture's requirements. Be it resolved that the town board accepts the bond council retainer letter from Trapaz and Marquee LLP for the above reference work. And be it resolved that this resolution shall take effect immediately. And Mr. Douglas, please.
Yes.
Mr.
Well, could
Irwin?
we discuss that just a bit? I wonder if Matt can give us a breakdown of exactly what that is in layman's terms.
Well, what is?
15,000, just that resolution you just read.
Well, there's gonna be two types of financing on this. You're gonna need a bond. You're gonna need two different sets of financing documents, loans with the state. The documentation for all these is about that big. So, and they need to have what's called a not to exceed cost for the financing, for the EFC, providing the financing to actually approve their work under this. So it might be significantly less than this, but they have to have in there that they're not gonna exceed X amount of money to move over these loans. So it's going out and getting the financing, doing the documents, writing the letters to certify that, basically, that was good for it, to pay it back, the bond council letter, working with the bank to get it, doing the closing, then certifying the documents, getting all the documents back to the state. So they basically have to run through the same process twice for short-term and long-term financing on this. But think of it as your attorney to do your house closing times 1,000. Same type of work that they're gonna do. The state requires these documents up front before they'll provide financing.
Mr. Irwin?
Yes.
Mr. Langley?
Yes.
Mr. Barber?
Yes.
Mr. McDonald?
Yes. Okay. So. Number 13, resolution discussion, bond resolution for sewer collection project. Again, I'm gonna have Matt overlook it like he did last meeting, because it's about 7 pages long. So I'm gonna be reading for half an hour. So we're gonna put in short term. And then, we will also make it available for anyone that wants to see or have it after. So I need a motion and a second for that, on number 13.
This is pending Matt's approval. He hadn't had a chance to look at it.
No, I think Brandon just wanted me to summarize.
Summarize it, because it's like 7 pages. If not, Diane will be reading like we did last meeting. He shortens it up.
Basically, it'd be a resolution for the town to go out and get financing in the form of a bond at an estimated maximum cost of $4,030,070 for the sewer project. Within the resolution, there's a bunch of language that the state requires, including a secret determination, which is the environmental quality review, all the legalese that you need, including the full faith and credit of the town is pledged to pay this back. That's part of what the bond council from the previous resolutions will look into and determine and make sure that the project in the town is going to be able to afford this and pay it back. Most of this resolution is just boilerplate stuff that the state requires to allow the town to go out and get financing for this project. That's really all this resolution is about.
So I need a motion and a second for this.
I'll make it.
I'll second.
Mel made the motion. Jim Langley. Second motion. Matt explained what it was, and if anyone would like a copy of it or anything after, they're here. If not, roll call, Diane.
Mr. McDonald?
Yes.
Mr. Douglas?
Yes.
Mr. Langley?
Yes.
Mr. Irwin?
Yes.
Mr. Barber?
Yes.
Okay, 5-0 passes. Okay, we're gonna go right to number 14, court billing ban. Pam got an email November 27th after our last meeting, and they just want to know if, with the courthouse, if we wanna roll it over into next year and keep it a band or a bond. We owe $126,000 as of right now. And Pam, you wanna explain it a little bit more? Pam? Want to explain a little bit more about the court?
We rolled it over last year, and I think at some point we were discussing rolling it into the new bond that's coming up. But we just need to let Ben Maslona know if we just want to pay the minimum principal payment of $5,000, or if we want to roll it into a bond. Because it's due, I think, the 18th of 2019, so.
Well, we could do both, right, Pam?
You can.
Pay some down.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yep.
And then roll the rest in. And by rolling it in with the rest, that rate of interest is a little bit lower than the band.
Yeah.
I would make the motion that we do the pay at least $5,000 down.
Yep.
Because we were anticipating it anyways, and then roll the rest in with the other bond.
Sounds good.
We just get Ted Trespass on board with that as soon as possible, let him know that that's gotta take place.
Yep.
I'll second that motion.
Okay. I'll second the motion. Any more discussion? Basically what Jim was saying is we're gonna pay the minimum of $5,000 and then we're gonna roll the rest of it into this new band.
Actually, Matt, I think
A bond, I mean,
Yeah.
bond.
Ted does know about it because Ben, they work close together, and Ben did include him when he saw the 202B proceedings.
Okay.
Which does include, like what Jim was saying too, a lower interest rate of rolling into the bond.
Right.
Okay. Any other
Plus,
discussion?
I don't think that they won't do a bond for $126,000 or
Yeah, probably not.
so.
That would make sense.
Good motion second. Any more discussion? If not, all in favor? Aye. All 5 ayes. That's taken care of. Okay. Number 15. Okay, so resolution discussion. to appoint James Bosley to the zoning board of appeals. James was at the last meeting that I came to, and he would like to be on the zoning board of appeals. He sent his recommendation letter in to Bob the next day, I believe it was, and we got a resolution to accept him. So we need a motion and a second for the resolution.
I'd like to make that motion. Jim is both my neighbor and I've known him for a number of years and worked with him on the chart system. He's a stand-up guy, terrific guy, very, very responsible. I doubt he'll ever miss a meeting. It's not the way he is, so I don't have enough good things to say about him.
I gotta say, Jim will always, Bob, you can,
Fiasco, if he's still on his feet, or less.
Hey, he's had to take a lot of shots over that. He never loses his cool. He treats everybody with great care, understanding. I tell you a couple of times, one moment in particular, very insulting, and he rolls right off his back, no trouble.
He sees what he's giving me right up front with the zoning board, what they're going through right now, a tough one, so
Yeah.
it's gonna be a good one, so.
welcome, Jim.
Yeah, so we have a motion and a second, resolution. Joe Point.
A resolution approving the appointment of James Bosley to the Town Zoning Board of Appeals. Whereas the Peru Town Zoning Board of Appeals has recommended that James Bosley be appointed to fill the Zoning Board of Appeals seat vacated by Dwayne Bass through December 31st, 2019. Therefore, be it resolved, the Peru Town Board agrees with the recommendation of the Zoning Board of Appeals and appoints James Bosley to complete the term of the seat vacated by Dwayne Bass through December 31st, 2019. And be it resolved that this resolution shall take effect immediately. Mr. Douglas?
Yes.
Mr. Irwin?
Yes.
Mr. Langley?
Yes.
Mr. Barber?
Yes.
Mr. McDonald?
Yes. 5 yeses. Welcome on board.
Thank you.
We're going to go to number 16. It's going to be more or less just discussion. There's no motion in the thing. Pat gave us a lot of recommendations tonight. Things to look into, things that we got to look at, different options. A lot of stuff we got to. A lot of stuff that costs money too. So basically, that's board discussion. There was no motion off that. So.
Can I say, Brandy, if we could just start with contacting Spectrum to see about increasing our speed for that minimum cost, because I can tell you, it really has.
Well, look at the speed when I did the
I
speed
know,
test on my
I
phone.
understand that.
It's so low, it's unreal.
What I'm saying, and I know they do offer the 300 meg, whether it takes a phone call to initiate that, I don't know, and it's really not that much more. I think you're talking another $10 a month or something like that.
Pat said he did contact them,
Yeah, he said that, yeah.
and he said he found out that there was talk about the 300 meg in this
Yeah.
area, but no one has 300 meg in this
Okay,
area yet.
okay.
But I will call though tomorrow.
We're not
It's a-
even operating that.
It's
we're
a
not
simple
even
phone call, we're not even
operating.
operating, and I can tell you what I've told you guys at the workshop.
Right.
I can call them from my house when my wife has problems with billing and accounting for doctor's offices and
Yep.
stuff. It will be 40 or like 20 something like it was
Right,
tonight here,
right.
like it is probably right now.
Sure,
I'll send you a call, it'll shoot right up. It's like, there's,
so they are throttling it then.
something, like, it's just weird when you call every other week, it goes up when it was down, so. But I will make that phone call tomorrow and ask them about that and when it might be available.
Well, this is part of the reason why New York State has had their issues with them.
Absolutely, yeah. And I have to call, like I said, I have to call every other week because my wife can't even go on the state websites for the billing and accounting for the stuff that she has to.
Yeah.
But then all of a sudden you make a phone call and then it shoots right up. It's like, okay, I made a phone call 5 minutes later. It's like, but then 2 weeks from now, I got to do it again. So, yeah. So we got a lot of things to think of with the IT and a lot of recommendations of different things or projects coming up too. So, any other discussion on that one? If not, we're already in other business. Alrighty, we're gonna go right to you, Ricky, right off. And welcome aboard too.
Thank you.
We'll get you a name tag eventually. By the year.
Younger version?
Got 2 gyms already.
Yeah, what's one more?
Yeah. Anything, if you think of something, we come back to.
No.
Okay? Jim? Hey. Matt?
I'm good.
Jim? Mel?
Heads up, Courtney, I gave him the water study.
Mhm.
So he has that. And thank you to Diane for the beautiful flowers.
Yeah, thank you, great.
Are you ready for your task?
Anything
I
else?
tell you where to draw. Exactly.
Anything else? Okay. Bob?
Just one thing, I purchased a printer, I know we talked about it so that's a mobile printer for the vehicle, and I'll just show you one of the pages that we've developed already is a correction notice. So you'll see that this is a previous permit, and what I'll do is write the corrections that need to take place, and nothing can be done to that. Work may not be covered to require re-inspection of the pool. And so it's, oh boy, sorry guy. And it's gonna work out good. They're tweaking stuff at BAS, and it's just a lot easier for me. And it'll be entered in the system. They'll receive a copy. I'll have a copy I can print back here and throw in the file. But that's just one of the programs that we have, and it's also, the certificate of completion. The complaint forms can be, printed in the mobile field. So it's really good. And they're getting better and better BASs. So I just wanted to show you that, and it's working out well so far. Otherwise, we're pretty busy with. Cleaned up the office some. We had old permits that been hanging around, and we've closed out a lot. Brought it downstairs to the file vault. We're doing well. It's busy.
Good. Thank you. Courtney? Wow, okay. Mike?
The only thing I got is talked to Sandy, that's the gentleman doing the mini big. I was supposed to meet him last week and get it on for probably the second meeting. He's swamped, of course, every other town that's trying to do it. I said, don't rush. I'm gonna meet him Thursday. Everything's pretty much done, just want to go over the last little bit and make sure everything is, the dots are all lined up, and said if it goes into January, it's not a rush. It's gonna be 6 or 7 months before we even see it anyway, if you approve it, so let's look at that. It's not a rush, so Courtney usually takes up the agenda anyway, so definitely pull in the January. That's all I got.
Okay. Dave?
You got all you need from me? No dogs died this year. We got 38 this year, so I just picked up the last one a couple nights ago. It's all paid for and everything.
Somebody did have the benefit of your conversation, I see.
That's right, I'll have to do something.
Thank you. Pam?
Logic's payroll went live 2 weeks ago. Tomorrow will be the next live payroll, or tomorrow and Wednesday. Hopefully it'll go a little bit smoother. It was okay, but we had GL issues, but they're being taken care of. And the money from our crowdfunding IOB, we should have that within 2 weeks, which turned out to be $13.79, I think, give or take a little bit. So we should have, that's going to be directly deposited into the general account. And the Youth Bureau reporting and voucher that certain people had concerns about went in today. It was due 13th December, not November 1st, as was previously stated. Just wanted you to know that.
Thank you. Anything else?
Thank you,
Okay, I only have one. I got a letter from John Canoza today from the Health Department. And we brought this up before, I think when we had the windstorm, and this basically is about the windstorm, about the town should be looking at a generated backup permanent generator. I have a letter from today, just because we know the fire department that night, we went over to fire department, me and Mike over and over and over, and people are calling about oxygen and stuff like that, where to go. And Greg Timmons and everyone that was over there that night said concerned because of emergency vehicles going in and out. So they basically are saying in this letter, if the town could basically get the generator back up, set up here for people with oxygen and all that kind of stuff. We do have a generator that Courtney brings over, and it's a big one, and it can run the whole town. The only problem is when the power's out, the lift station that runs that, so it's either you got the flooding of the sewer to people's houses, or you gotta have it here, so we really gotta consider getting a permanent generator back up here. They run about $3,500 for the size that we would need here, and about, I think you guys could probably install it. So that's something we gotta,
How much did we just get from the sale of that other generator?
1700? No, we got
36.
3,600 or something.
So did that just go back to fund balance, the
That goes
3,600?
to water department.
That goes to water department.
Boy, we need to get on
We
that.
already had to spend, believe me, but it's
I'm
something,
sorry.
but it's something that we should look.
I knew there was a smell, I didn't know it was,
Dave,
take him out here.
The one that we're gonna have here, what are we gonna run it here?
The natural gas or propane, they can run either one.
Yeah.
Yep. So,
Randy, are you still on the generator?
yes, about a generator here.
I would, they got 1,000 of them up to Fort Drum, any size you want. 3-phase, regular, they're huge on wheels, whatever you want.
are those the ones that are all on diesel though?
They probably are, I don't know.
Yeah.
They may have a little bit of everything.
Yeah.
We want to be natural gas.
I don't know, the Courtney is, actually, there's, I think Fort Drum is tomorrow, but I got a highway meeting.
No, but if we have one that we could
If Courtney's
just
not
pull over.
registered, he
It's
could,
not the end of the
he
day.
could Courtney register, well, because that stuff's all, hasn't been used at all, hardly. I mean, some of the white's still on the tire.
No, what I'm saying is that for the amount of time that we actually need one, we really need it hardwired and always ready and set up as opposed to a portable one that you can service once a year and have it ready if you needed to pull it over.
We can look at all options. It does-
When the main lane lift station's not over, it's gonna have a permanent one, so the other one's gonna be,
Go be-
I don't have a use for it other than.
Okay, perfect.
So.
They just like to have an
Yeah, a couple
answer.
of years
There's
to
no
hold
date,
out.
there's no date of answering it, but it says recommendations and stuff and that.
It's a good recommendation.
Yep, it is, absolutely. Other than that, any other business, anyone else before we go into executive session? There will be no actions taken after this executive session, so, we just want to go over and touch base with what was presented and Mike would like to have it. So I need a motion and a second to go into executive session for 17A.
Okay.
Grace, thank you, second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. And Bob, you're gonna join us.
Yeah.